Yo, 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 what is going on, everyone? What's going on, everyone? I go by RB, and this is Philly Take with RB. I see some people in here already. What is going on, everyone? Today, you already know, you can see the title. We are going to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. We are going to talk about the Eagles schedule. We are going to talk about all the opponents, the division games, everything going on. But first off, I want to say what's going on, everyone. Hope you guys are safe. Another week of quarantine, man. You know, another week without a haircut, all this stuff going on, man. It's been rough. It's been rough, but we got some exciting stuff to talk about today. What is going on, everyone? Kara, what's going on? Tristan Tillman, what is going on? You're definitely getting a wrench, bro. Definitely getting a wrench. What's going on? Beat PY. Kahan Patel, what's going on, bro? What is going on? We're going to talk about the Eagles. We're going to talk about how the Philadelphia Eagles can run it back to back in this division. We are going to talk about it all today. If you're in here, man, hit that like button. Let's get this thing popping today. Last week was crazy. It was a lot of fun. We're going to have some fun tonight for sure. Let me go ahead and give my boy Tristan a wrench real quick, man. What's going on? We got 16 heads in here already. What is going on, everybody? Lucas Hallman, what's going on, bro? What's going on? Divine, what's going on? Leon Sports and Gaming's, what is good, bro? Augie, Mandiscon, Lifty John, what is going on? Hey, everyone in here right now, as I do this, put your Eagles win prediction in the comments right now. Put your wins prediction for the season. The schedule came out yesterday. And interesting, pretty tough. Some of these matchups are going to be tough. We're going to get into it all. Put your Eagles record prediction in the comment section. What is going on, everyone? What is going on? Hey, we got 19 people in here. We got 13 likes. Take a second, smash that like button, all right? Smash that like button, and let's get right into it. So the Eagles schedule comes out yesterday. We got some wins predictions right here. Let's see what's going. Carapool 14-2. I like it. I love the confidence. That is what Philadelphia brings. Confidence, love. We support our people, and we are here all for it. Bam, Barn 5. What's going on, bro? 13-3. I'm liking it. 444 Philly fan. That is my dude right there. Everyone in here, be sure to go sub him up, man. Check out his content. He is next up. I'm telling y'all, that is my dude. What's going on, bro? Kahan Patel, 11-5. I'm liking it. Jonathan Neiman, Fly Eagles Fly. What's going on, bro? Lucas, 11-5. Augie, 10-6 or 9-7. I'm liking it. I'm liking what I'm hearing right now. We got 20 people in here. We're going to get into my predictions in just a second. We're going to take this thing week by week, and I'm going to tell you how the Eagles can dominate this schedule and how they can win this division. Emmett, what is going on? 10-6. LJP, 11-5 or 12-4. Oh my gosh, I'm loving the confidence right now, y'all. Fly Eagles Fly. Let's get it, man. What is going on, everyone? What is going on? Tristan Tillman, 12-2. Okay. 16-0. Oh, Jonathan, you got the first big comment of the night. What's going on? You're getting a wrench for that, bro. You're getting a wrench. 16-0. I'm loving the confidence in here. I'm loving the confidence. Let me go ahead and give my boy Jonathan a wrench real quick. Let's go. Let's freaking get it. And if there's any Cowboys fans here, because I know they're going to be creeping in here lurking, I got some stuff for you too, you little crybabies. I got some stuff, man. Got you, man. Jonathan, you got a wrench, my dude. You got a wrench. What is going on? All right. So the Philadelphia Eagles, they open up on the road against the Washington Redskins. All right. It happened last year. It's happened multiple times, especially in the recent future. They always put us against the Washington Redskins. I don't know why. They never put us against Dallas week 1, which would be absolutely insane, by the way. But we got Washington week 1. You know what I'm thinking, man. I'm thinking it's a dub. Last year, we got off to a little slow start. We were a little cold in the first quarter, the second quarter. But guess what? When Carson Wentz opened up, when he found D-Jacks for deep, oh my gosh, that we went off. We went off. Speaking of Washington, speaking of the Giants and the Cowboys, the division games are going to be very vital. Those are the ones the Eagles have to take care of. All right, I think we get a week 1 win in Washington. And going towards the division, let me get to some more comments real quick before I get into this. Emmett Simpler, what's going on? 10-6, 12-4, 11-5, 8-8. Okay. Let's see. 2-14. Darius held Amari hostage for 4 catches. Well, go ahead and reevaluate your name, and then go ahead and reevaluate what you just said in the comment section. All right. Lucas, what's going on? Can I join you later in the show? I don't have it set up right now where we can do that, but don't worry. Eventually, we will definitely be getting some collabs on here. By the way, let me make a little announcement real quick. You know, we're going up in subs, man. We're going up. If you're new in here and you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe, hit that like button. When we get to 2K, there will be a giveaway, and I will pick someone or maybe a couple people to come on here and talk sports with me or debate. That is coming. 2K giveaway. Be on top of it. I don't care if you're an Eagles fan. What's going on? Hashtag Dallas sucks. Jonathan, you are on top of it right now, my dude. You are on top of it. First you said 16-0, and then you said Dallas sucks. Let me get hashtag Dallas sucks in the comments because I love seeing it, man. I love seeing it. Do you think the Eagles will switch off Wentz and Hurts or just keep Hurts as backup? I think Jalen Hurts will obviously be the backup. He might have a few packages where he's in that Taysom Hill type of role. I'm not sure, but I know they need to keep him healthy. They can't have him running the ball all over the field, you know, like Lamar Jackson and getting hit and hurting his knee as well, because we might need him. We might need him down the stretch. That is a fact. Hashtag Dallas sucks. I'm seeing it. I love it. So in terms of the Eagles schedule, right now, I've been looking at this all day. I looked at it last night. I'm feeling as if the Eagles are a 10-win team, and this can give or take maybe 1 or 2 wins either way. Like I've said, guys, the number one important factor is health. We've seen it the last couple years. This team has been so talented. And what happened? Every single dude going down with an injury. We still saw what happened last year. Carson Wentz with these injuries. What does he do? He takes a bunch of nobodies, puts them on his back, and leads us to the playoffs and gets a cheap shot. And we already know the rest of the story, man. But number one factor is health. This could be a 12-win team. This could be an 11-win team. This could be an 8-win team if guys are getting hurt. Who knows, man? We're going to see what happens. But I see this team as a 10-win team right now. I'll take the over and under at 9.5. All right. In terms of the division games, I see the Eagles probably going 5-1. I think we sweep the Washington Redskins, even though I do think the Redskins will be a formidable team and they're just a couple years out, right? The Washington Redskins will be okay. Ron Rivera will implement that defense. They might be better on defense than offense. They will be okay. The New York Giants, don't even get me started, okay? They have an elite player in Saquon, and they're just going to drive him into the ground, which is sad because as a sports fan, I like to recognize greatness, and Saquon is great, but that's really all they have in my eyes. I don't see the Giants doing anything. I think the Eagles go 4-0 against the Redskins and the Giants, and I think we split. My first instinct is I think we split with the Dallas Cowboys. I could see us winning the game. What is it, week 8, after we come off 10 days of rest and stomping those Dallas Cowboys. But I could see them later on in the season, and this might be the deciding factor. Week 16 in Jerry World, we play the Cowboys. A division title could be on the line. Be sure to look out. Let me read some of these comments again. Wentz equals the GOAT. Jonathan, you are on top of it, my dude. You are absolutely on top of it right now. Wentz is the GOAT. Go Carson. Same. I said 10-6. Just too many unknowns. Get out. You just said 2-14. Come on, man. Come on. 10-6. Or if the Eagles don't get Carson Wentz does not get hurt, I say 12-4 if Jadeveon Clowney shines with the Eagles. 16-0. I like the confidence, man. Well, we're actually going to talk about Jadeveon Clowney a little bit too coming up in a little while. Stephen Joyce, what's going on? What's up from Minnesota? RB, I told my brother about you, and you've got 2 fans over here. You're our favorite YouTuber. Shout out to you, BPY. Shout out to you. I checked out your video. It was fire, by the way. Shout out to you and your brother, man. I feel like we're due for a healthy year. Absolutely great point, Kara. The Eagles have to stay healthy, right? They have to. We have a new chief medical officer. We have seen 2 years now in which we had the most injuries. I've never seen a football team decimated like the Philadelphia Eagles. Every single week, guys are dropping like flies. Guys are dropping like flies, and we can still amount to 8 wins to 9 wins. Come on, man. Come on. What's going on, everyone? I have my Ravens losing to your Eagles. Wow, Tiger Raven. That's a pretty bold take right there. That's a pretty bold take. We're gonna get into that. That's gonna be a good game, man. At the link, right? Yep, at the link. That's gonna be pretty crazy. I think we sweep the division. I like it, man. It very big possibility. You are my favorite YouTuber. Shout out to you, Tristan. All right. Look, man. The Philadelphia Eagles, they have to start the season strong. If you look at our first 3 games, all right, so we got the Washington Redskins in Washington. We have the Los Angeles Rams at the link, and then we have the Cincinnati Bengals at the link, and then we have a tough 3-game stretch. We have 2 tough 3-game stretches this year. We got the 49ers, Steelers, and the Ravens, and then later on we have the Seahawks, Green Bay, and New Orleans. Those are going to be the toughest games. Those 2 3-game stretches. I hope we are healthy. But in terms of the start, man, the Eagles, we know they've started pretty strong for a couple years. The Eagles have to start strong. We have to wipe Washington. We have to beat the LA Rams. I'm telling you, we can't drop these. We can't go out and lay an egg against the Cincinnati Bengals. It cannot happen. Okay? We have to take care of business with the Rams, which we can beat, which we have multiple times over the years. And the Rams, I don't know what direction they're going in. They're a little bit confusing to me, to be honest. They are just a little bit confusing. That is a winnable game. And the Cincinnati Bengals game is absolutely a winnable game. Joe Burrow, I'm sure he'll ball out this year, but guess what? Who is he going to be throwing the ball to? Who? He has one weapon, all right? Eagles have to start 3-0. And then when you get to the next 3-game stretch, you got San Fran, Pittsburgh, and the Ravens. I'm okay. If we win 2 of those games, I will be happy. If we win 1, I'll be a little agitated, but guess what? It'll be okay. But we have to win at least 1. We can't drop 3 in a row. I don't know how, Pittsburgh's gonna format themselves, because is Big Ben gonna be healthy? What type of things are they gonna be running? Who knows? That might be a tough game. We don't know how Pittsburgh is going to start. They're up and down, San Fran is absolutely going to be a tough game, but I see the Eagles defense line. I see these corners. Let's not forget, man. Everyone's been talking, about this offense and the receivers. Let's not take a second now and not forget the Eagles defense is going to be up there this year. I'm predicting that we will be a top 10 defense. I am. We finally have a corner that I can just sit back and say, you know what? I trust him. I trust him week in and week out. He's going to lock up every single receiver in this division. He's going to lock up Amari Cooper. He's going to lock up whoever they put him on. Okay, big play Slay. Do not doubt my dude. We finally have him. We have some linebackers. We got some guys later on in the draft that can be formidable. The defensive line, we have that 2017 looking depth that we had. We have depth on this line. I'm telling you, this defense, as long as Jim Schwartz doesn't get lost in his own head, he needs to play chess. He needs to move the pieces around. Jim Schwartz has to put it all together. We got Marquand Manuel, the new DB's coach. He's going to have these boys fired up. I don't know who's going to be playing at corner too. You guys can let me know who you think. I'm feeling like they're going to give Sidney Jones a shot, but it might go to Avonte Maddox. But we got Nickel Roby-Coleman in his slot. We got Crayvon LeBlanc who's going to contribute. Who knows what Jalen Mills is going to do? We got Kavon Wallace who just continues to rise up, people's interest boards. Kavon Wallace is going to be a dog. He could step in and be a day one safety for the Eagles. We have a good defense. And when it comes to teams like the 49ers, who I believe are going to try to run it down our throats, let me tell you, the Eagles will be ready. Javon Hargrave, Fletcher, Cox, Barnett, we're going to stuff teams in terms of the run. We are going to stuff them. Let's read some of these comments. Let's see. Not a top 10 defense, a top 5 defense. I completely agree. We could be a top 5 defense. We have these guys. Let's see. He can only block 1 wide receiver, not 3. Well, guess what, Richard Welch? Guess what? We have Avonte Maddox. We have Sidney Jones. We have guys on the line who are going to put pressure all over your quarterback, all over him in both matchups. Our defense might be top 5 this year. That D-line is insane, and our secondary is much, much better. I'm ready. I agree with you, 444 Philly fan. Absolutely, man. The defense is going to be legit. We are going to ball out this year on the defense side of the ball. People aren't gonna be ready for it. It's going to hit them, and they're not going to be ready. I'm telling you. Just saying, though, you can't cover Cooper, Gallup, and CD at the same time. They are likely to have a lot of 3 wide receiver sets in the offense because of McCarthy. Hey, I agree with that, all right? And I'm not doubting the Cowboys offense. They're going to put up some numbers, okay? They're going to put up some numbers, but let's take a look at last year. You know, the number 1 offense in the league, you guys have been telling me, and you're right. You're right. Dak had, all those passing yards. Amari was balling out in the home games. They had a good year. They have some good dudes on offense. They took CeeDee Lamb. That's right. But where did that get them? Where did that get them? I know it got them second in the division. I know they lost the division to Carson Wentz. And who was playing receiver again? Greg Ward, Deontay Burnett, Rob Davis, guys like that. So your offense can be as good as it needs to be. I know it's going to be pretty good. But that defense, you guys wanted to take CeeDee. You didn't go with a big-time playmaker on D. Trayvon Diggs, he'll be solid, but he's no Byron Jones yet. He needs to develop. You guys went center. That's great. But what about this defense? I'm just saying. Carson equals GOAT. Yes, he is. As a Clemson fan, I miss Kavon Wallace. Yo, he's going to have a day 1 impact. I'm telling you, I'm loving his mentality. I'm loving how he is approaching Philadelphia as a city. And the last time we got a safety out of Clemson, we already know who that was, man. What do you think about the game versus Ravens and Jackson? Yeah, we're going to get to that. All right. So the 49ers could be, it could be back and forth. It depends. As long as we are healthy and we stuff that run, I don't see Jimmy G going crazy on us. So that could be a winnable game. Now we get to the Baltimore game, right? The Steelers, like I said, I think that is a winnable game. But, you never know with the Steelers. They could come out and be one of the best teams. You just don't know. Mike Tomlin is a great coach. You get to the Baltimore game. This is where we're going to schedule. This is where we're going to struggle. I don't expect us to come out and completely dominate the Ravens. It'll probably be a tight game. And even if they come out and beat us, as long as we play hard, as long as we do our thing, I'm not mad about it. You're not going to go 16-0, all right? You're going to lose some games. But as long as we come out and we're formidable, we struggle with some of these running backs that love to run around, that have speed, and we have a great time stuffing the run. But when it comes to these mobile quarterbacks, they usually take advantage of the Philadelphia Eagles. I wouldn't be surprised if Lamar is rushing for 110, 120 yards against us. I would not be surprised. I'm all right with that one. Hold on, let me read some of these comments. Cowboys are dumb for getting Andy Dalton. That is a great point, okay? That is a great point. Actually, let's save that for about 5 to 10 minutes down the road. I got something to say to you Cowboys fans. Stick around for a couple minutes, all right? Let's just go through a little bit more of the schedule and read some of these comments. So which one of your Uber drivers y'all got at linebacker going to plug their gaps correctly? Well, let me tell you something, JJ Trill, right? Who do you have at linebacker? Who do you have at corner? Who do you have on the defensive line? Stop trying to tell me that Dontari Poe, all right, and Gerald McCoy are going to save you guys and lead you to the promised land. Stop it. They are 30 years old and up. 30 years old and up. You're acting like you went out and made a big splash. You didn't get Jadeveon Clowney. You didn't go out and get one of these big-time defensive linemen. Stop lying to yourselves. That is my problem with Cowboys fans. That is my problem. Who do you think is our best wide receiver? Well, in terms of who I think is going to have a big impact, I mean, I'm expecting Jalen Reagor, but I can't doubt Djax, man. I know people are trying to, say that this guy is not himself anymore. He's getting up there in age, which he is. But let me tell you, that burst of speed, that is going to be lethal as long as he stays healthy. He's been healthy pretty much throughout his career. Obviously a bad break last year, but I'm expecting a big season from Deshaun Jackson. The Packers Saints Seahawks is going to be insane. Absolutely agree. We will get to that. Good evening. I'm still thinking 9-7 or 10-6. What's going on, Rick Bennett? That is my dude. Shout out to you. I mean, our Uber drivers beat y'all for Christmas. Very, very true. This is some great content. Shout out to you, Trishan. Shout out to you. I see Carson getting hurt by week 4. Okay, I understand. He could get hurt. You never know. Carson Wentz has gotten hurt each and every year. That is right. But let me tell you, if he does stay healthy, you guys are in for a long, long season. This will be the season that the Eagles have the best chance of breaking the NFC East curse. I'm just saying. So we come out of week 6. We could be 5-1. We could be 4-2. That's what I would hope. We can't lay some stinkers against some of these teams. I'm telling you, the Ravens, we lose the game. I'm fine. We drop one against San Fran. Okay, but I would like to win that. We go to the Giants in week 7, and that is a win. Okay, that is a win. I am not scared at all about the New York Giants. You can forget them out of the conversation. They are irrelevant. I'm scared of Saquon Barkley. I am. And I will admit he is great. But the rest of that team, come on, let's stop it. Here's where it comes in, man. Week 8, Dallas Cowboys, Sunday, November 1st, 8:20 p.m. And by the way, the Eagles do have 10 days of rest coming off that Giants game because the Giants game is on a Thursday night. We get 10 days to prepare to welcome in the Dallas Cowgirls to the Lincoln Financial Field. And guess what? We are going to lay a beatdown on the Dallas Cowboys in week 8. We're going to lay an absolute beatdown on the Cowboys just so I can shut every one of you up. All right, Carson Wentz is going to go for 330 plus. Amari Cooper is going to get locked up. Okay? He's going to get locked up, and the Eagles will deliver a beatdown in week 8 against the Dallas Cowboys off 10 days rest. We're going to be hyped, ready to go. Guess what? You guys are in for something week 8. Can you guys all sub so we can get this man to 100K? That would be crazy, man. If you're in here, by the way, hit that like button for a second. Help spread the content. If you're new, be sure to hit that subscribe. We got some fire content coming. And if I don't read your comment, just send it again, man, so I can see. You got a lot of comments going on here. Carson Wentz is so talented. He brought lawn chairs to the playoffs. Imagine what he will do with a full roster. This is what I'm saying, man. Exactly right. Like, you guys just talk about Carson Wentz. But the fact of the matter is, when Dak Prescott, when he lost some of them offensive linemen, when he lost Ezekiel Elliott, guess what? His play went down. It went down. But guess what? When Carson Wentz lost his pieces, Alshon, Deshaun, all those guys, guess what? Carson Wentz went up. He elevated. He put nobodies on his back and led us to the playoffs. You guys can talk about this number one offense all you need to. But guess what? Where did it get you? Where did it get you? Come on, man. Come on. Philly Talk Podcast with the super chat. What is going on? My guy, at the end of the day, we are going to beat some tough teams. A lot of NFL teams slip up and lose to a team they should beat. That's the NFL. That is my dude right there. If you're not subbed to him, go ahead and hit that subscribe. That is my brother, man. He puts out some fire content, and I completely agree with what you're saying. I completely agree. This is obviously in hindsight. We don't know. Each week to week is a different situation depending on the injuries, depending on, how much rest these guys are getting, depending on where the game is played. There is a lot that goes into it, and I completely agree. I could see the Eagles slipping up on a couple bad ones, as we seem to do most of the time, but I could also see us when our heads are down and all the adversity is shined right on the Eagles, and then after that, when all the lights are off, when the Eagles are put out, when they're written off, guess what? They rise to the occasion. And that goes back to what I was saying about Carson Wentz. This man rises to the occasion. He's shown that leadership aspect, okay? Dak Prescott needs all these guys around him. He needs insurance. He needs everything around him. Offensive lineman, Ezekiel Elliott. Let me say something. Ezekiel Elliott, that is the man that the Cowboys admire. That is their franchise player, in my opinion. Dak Prescott is a franchise player, but Ezekiel Elliott is the man of that franchise because he is elite. He is a top 3, top 5 running back, in my opinion. I'll admit that. Wentz ever play a full playoff game? No, he did not. And I believe Dak Prescott has one playoff win. I know you guys have been, rubbing that in my face. You're absolutely right. Dak has a playoff win, but let's go back, right? Let's go back. If I'm not mistaken, Dak Prescott, his rookie year went 13-3. 13-3. And for a span of about 5 to 6 years, guess what? If I'm not mistaken, all the number one seeds for about 5 or 6 years made it to the Super Bowl. You know who the only number one seed who did not make it to the Super Bowl? You guessed right. It was the Dallas Cowboys. It was a 13-3 Cowboys team who lost against the Green Bay Packers. So stop talking to me about that. The Cowboys, they won a playoff game against the Seahawks. I remember it. The Seahawks didn't throw the ball. I don't know why. But then what happened? They lost to the Rams. Stop it. Philly Talk Podcast with another super chat. First 2 super chats, my guy. We're going live soon. Absolutely, man. Shout out to my guy, Philly Talk Podcast. If you just joined in, man, go ahead and show him some love. That is my dude. Me and him are definitely going to be going live soon again. Shout out to you, bro. Jay Trilla, $2 super chat. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I see you're still mad about Diggs and Lamb. Well, guess what? I might be mad about Lamb. I might be mad about Diggs. I am a Philly fan, and I will speak the truth. I will show my objectivity. I am mad about that pick. But guess what? The Eagles missed out on that pick, but guess what? They went and traded for Marquise Goodwin. They got Jalen Reagor in the first round. They got all these receivers later on, and guess what? You guys have been talking about this Super Bowl offense, right? Where's the Super Bowl defense? Who is going to stop the speed, the lightning that the Eagles are going to put out at the wideouts? Come on, man. Let's just speak honest. I know you guys don't like to look at all the factors. Let's speak honest, man. Let's just be honest here. Come on. Deshaun, I'm back at home. Jackson, yes, he is. Did Foles not make them better in 2018? Offense looked better with him than Wentz at any point in 2018. Well, let me tell you, I don't know if I agree with that. I don't, because Nick Foles, okay, he had the same weapons as Carson Wentz. Like I said, people forget this. Without Carson Wentz, the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl. They don't. They do not win the Super Bowl. Carson Wentz led them to an 11-2 start. Carson Wentz, in my opinion, still should have been MVP. These guys were not getting older. They were not sustaining all these injuries. They were healthy. And when Carson Wentz had all these weapons, let's not forget what he did. Nick Foles, I'm so thankful for Nick Foles and what he was able to do for this Eagles team. But let's not forget, Carson Wentz had a big part in the 2017 season. Packers own the Cowboys in AT&T Stadium. Very true. RB, can we chat? Please talk about. Can we chat soon? Please talk about football. Yes, we can, sir. Yes, we can. Okay. Let's get right back to this. Okay, so after the Dallas game, and I'm telling you, we will beat down the Dallas Cowboys in week 8 on Sunday, November the 1st. And then we go into a bye week. We come back. So we have 2 games against the Giants. We have two games against the Giants and the Cleveland Browns. The Giants, I'm telling you, I think it is a win. The Eagles have owned the Giants over the last couple of years. The Eagles will win that game. And then we get to the Cleveland Browns. I don't know what the Cleveland Browns are going to be. Last year, they had all this promise. Cleveland Browns were supposed to be title contenders, right? And they laid an egg. Freddie Kitchens wasn't ready. So I don't know, but I'm not going to count out the Cleveland Browns. They could come out and have a lethal offense this year. They have a lot of playmakers now. I'm just saying. That could be a tough game. Then we get into the stretch, the second big 3-game stretch. And this is where it gets real, man. This is where it gets real. Seattle, Green Bay, and New Orleans. Green Bay is the only one out of the 3 on the road. So that is good because we did win at Lambeau Field last year. Let's not forget. I will be happy if the Eagles, after week 11, before this 3-game stretch, if we come out and, we're 7-3, right? I don't want to be 5-5 coming into that stretch. I want to be 7-3. That's where I'm aiming for. That is what I'm looking for. Because if we go into that 3-game stretch and we drop 2 and we're 7-3, well, guess what? We are 8-5. We're 8-5. And I'm not mad at that because we win a couple of the last couple games of the season against the Redskins and Arizona. I'm not scared about it, man. We finished with 10 wins. I'm fine with it. I do think 10 wins will possibly win the division this year. Dallas has a tough schedule as well. And we know that I believe this is a 2-team division. Dallas has a tough schedule. I think they play, Minnesota and Atlanta instead of a couple of these teams. I think 10 wins will win the division this year. I do. So if we drop 2 out of 3. I'm not going to be mad, even though I do think this Eagles team will rise up to the occasion this year. I think this is the year that Carson Wentz stays health. I mean, he stayed healthy last year and he got hurt by a cheap shot, but Carson Wentz is ready to prove it, man. It's all about the as a collective unit. Can everyone stay healthy? Can they be put in the right situations to win? Now, week 12, we always have a tough time with the Seattle Seahawks. We do. I'm not expecting us to come in there and dominate. It's at the Link, which I do enjoy because it's a tough environment to go out and play in Seattle. It's a prime time game. By the way, the Eagles do have 4 prime time games, and I think that is insane. You know, they want us to be under the spotlights. They are expecting big things from the Philadelphia Eagles. So we will be in that spotlight. Don't you guys worry about it. 4 primetime games. Seattle, 8:15 p.m. Going to be a crazy environment. We got to go in ready to compete. The next week, we go ahead and play Green Bay. Actually, let's read some of these comments because I see the chat is going absolutely nuts right now. Let's see what you guys are saying. Do you have any ties this season? Nah, man. I don't believe in ties. It could happen. It happens, once in a blue moon. I don't see it. I don't. NFL says that the Cowboys have the 3rd easiest schedule. Yeah, I saw that too, and I don't understand it. I don't, because they have pretty much the same as the Eagles, except for a couple different games. And I think our schedule is pretty tough. I don't understand, why they said that. JJ Trilla, it's funny how you care so much about the Eagles. It is pretty funny. I see JJ up in here a lot of these Eagles streams, but maybe he's just supporting his team. I understand it, even though I don't agree with him because his Cowboys stink. Lucas Holman, my dad said Dallas has the 3rd easiest schedule. Yeah, man, I'm seeing this a lot too, and I'm reading it, but I don't know who said that, if it was the PFF writers or who, but I don't agree with that. I don't. Let's see. Burgang 114, what is going on, bro? Shout out to you. Didn't even see you up in here. What is going on, my dude? Eagles 11-5, Cowboys 8-8, not in the playoffs. Sounds good to me, man. Sounds good to me. Philly is the best. Absolutely, Trishan. Philly is the best all the time. What JJ does to Eagle streams is what I do to Dallas stream. I love it, man. I love it. I've actually been laying myself in a couple Dallas streams, and the stuff that they tell you guys, that they feed you guys, it's funny to me. I just sit back and laugh. Is Dallas building a dream team? Come on, man. Come on. Man. Cowboys and the Eagles are going to win the division and take the wild card spot, with Bucks or Saints taking the other wild card spot. Could be. I could definitely see that happen. You got the Bucks and the Saints going on. Week 1 matchup's going to be crazy. Back to the schedule, man. So Green Bay, we played them on the road in Lambeau in week 13, and that could be a tough game. I don't know what's going to happen with the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers, all this scuffling between him and the organization. They didn't go out and draft him any receivers. That's crazy to me, by the way. I don't know what's going to happen with the Packers. I could see them, regressing a little bit, going maybe for a 9-10 win season. I'm just being honest. Who knows? But the Eagles have shown that they can win on the road. They can win at Lambeau. I think even though that's going to be a tough game, it's definitely one the Eagles could take. And then we play the Saints at the Link. I feel a lot more comfortable playing them at the Link than in Mercedes-Benz Superdome, all right? Because that is going to be a tough environment. Let me tell you, the Saints have a crazy roster. The Saints are going to be one of the best teams in the league. I already know it. They have been for a couple years. They just can't finish. They've choked 3 years in a row or been put in some unpredictable situation. The Saints are going to be good, though. They're going to be good. I'm going to go into that with a lot of hope. Is that 4:25 p.m. game? We're going to see what happens, man. We're going to see what happens. I'm not going to say that it's an automatic win or an automatic loss. It's going to be a game where we can compete. Obviously, the last time we played the Saints, in the playoffs a couple years ago on a big stage like that, we went up 2 touchdowns right away, and that was with Nick Foles. But I'm not going to doubt it, man. I'm not going to doubt it. The Eagles can compete in all these games, even though we do have a tough schedule. I really just think that it's about taking care of the easy opponents. It's about coming out and showing that we can do that, because when you're lacking against opponents that have no business in being in those games, that is where you start to struggle, and things add up. They do. The last stretch of the season is the Arizona Cardinals, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Washington Redskins. I think that's an easy 2 out of 3. Easy 2 out of 3. I think Arizona Cardinals, even though if you have seen my videos, I'm predicting them to be a sleeper team this season. I think Arizona Cardinals, with Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury and all those receivers that they're gathering, and they've added some pieces on defense as well, Arizona could be a playoff sleeper team. I'm just saying they could slide in there at that 6th seed. Just my opinion on it. That could be a tough game. That is in Arizona too. You know, Eagles have struggled a little bit historically playing the Arizona Cardinals, even though we did beat them a couple years ago. But they've significantly upgraded. They have. And I will definitely circle that on my calendar, because I think it's going to be interesting to see what the Eagles can do to negate Kyler Murray. Now we get to the Dallas Cowboys, Week 16 in Jerry World. And like I said, at this point, you know, these teams could be 8-7. We could both be, 9-6. This could be a deciding game if everyone is tied, because I would expect the Cowboys to take care of business in the division as well. And this could be the deciding game. It could be tied, and whoever wins gets the edge in the NFC East. And I would hope that is not the situation. I would hope that is not the situation, because that is going to be a tough game, regardless of how you look at it. Okay. It's going to be tough. It's all going to be about momentum. How can we get on a momentum running down that final stretch of the season? If we were to come out and take 2 or 3, if we were going to take 3 of 3 in that second rough 3-game stretch with Seattle and Green Bay and the Saints, if we catch fire, I think we can win that game. But Dallas, you know, we always have our struggles there. I'm just being honest. I'm being objective about it. And I think that all our games, honestly, with Dallas, except for a couple, and, you know, Dallas stomped us last year, and back in 2017, we stomped them. But for the most part, those games usually go down to the wire. They go down to a couple possessions. I could easily see a game being like that. And it might be one of the biggest games of the year. And Week 17 against Washington, that's an easy win. We have to take care of business. We finish out the season. Hopefully, we are sitting atop the NFC East. But let me tell you, this is a chance for the Eagles to break the NFC East curse. If you're not aware, the Eagles and no other team in this division as well has repeated since 2003, 2004. And guess who that team was? That was the Philadelphia Eagles that repeated in the NFC East. It's crazy how long. 16 years it's going on. No repeat division winners. It's going to be tough. But let me tell you, the Eagles can be the team to do it this year. Both the Eagles and the Cowboys have a tough schedule. I don't care what anyone says. And the Eagles, if they take care of these easy opponents, and if they take some of these tough ones, we have to stay healthy. Carson Wentz has to deliver. He has to stay on the field. And if we do that, the Eagles can win this division and break the NFC East curse. And I think there is a great chance of it happening this year. Let me see what you guys are saying. Let's get to some of these comments. How about them Cowboys? Good luck, Eagles, on running the ball on the interior part of our defensive line this year. You got to be kidding me, man. How about the Eagles' defensive line? Who are Ezekiel Elliott is elite. I'm telling you, man, he's elite. But let's not forget, in Week 16 last year, what did he have? 13 carries, 47 yards. Yeah, I didn't forget. You know, when the Eagles, by the way, you guys have been telling me about this stomping of the Eagles last year. Well, guess what? In Week 16, when it came down to crunch time, don't give me no injury excuses, okay? The Dallas Cowboys failed to execute, and Carson Wentz won that game. And Ezekiel Elliott was stuffed by Fletcher Cox, by Brandon Graham, by Derek Barnett. All those guys. Let's not forget the Eagles have a solid defensive line. The Cowboys defense is what you should be worried about. I'm just saying. Being $50 million over the cap, buying PP toy guns. Yup. Let me tell you something. Dallas Cowboys, they had a good draft. They got CeeDee Lamb. They have weapons on the offense. But let's not forget the Eagles do as well. How are you guys going to stop our 2 tight end personnel, Ertz and Goddard, on the field at the same time? How are you going to stop Miles Sanders? You guys couldn't even stop Boston Scott. You guys couldn't even stop Boston Scott. Let's speak the facts, man. Come on. The Cowboys have a new coaching staff. I guess that would be interesting to see. Yeah, I mean, I know you guys think you have some, Super Bowl crazed coach now. He did win a Super Bowl, but he had Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. And as time went on, he regressed. He did. He regressed. I'm just saying he got into some altercations with Aaron Rodgers. They didn't get along well. What do you think he's going to do with some of the personalities on this team? Come on, man. Come on. Cowboys' dream team is going to end up being a nightmare when their defense can't stop anybody. Absolutely agree, Burgang 114. They don't want to acknowledge that. They don't want to acknowledge that Carson Wentz can do things that not a lot of quarterbacks can do in this league. And when he's healthy and these pieces are on the field, look at the speed. We have 2 of the top 5 tight ends in the NFL, and you got all these receivers out at wideout. If these guys are Deshaun Jackson, Ragar, John Hightower, Marquise Goodwin, come on, man. You guys aren't acknowledging that we're going to be blazing all over the field, and you guys are going to have a tough time catching up. I'm just saying. The Cowboys coaching staff has Jerry Jones breathing down their neck. So how can they coach correctly? Absolutely agree. We heard all that time. You know how Jerry has all this saying what the Cowboys do. And let's not get it wrong either. Coach Clapp was terrible. And I loved how they kept extending him. But Jerry Jones, he's like that one guy, that one friend you have that can never get out of your business. You're trying to do something, and they always have to stick their nose in what you're doing. That is Jerry Jones. He can't deny the fact. He can't realize that he needs to sell this team. He can't realize that all the Cowboys fans, low key, down deep inside, you guys don't want Jerry Jones anymore. You guys don't want Jerry Jones. He's a businessman, and he's very, very stubborn. And as long as he continues to be the Cowboys owner, man, good things for the Eagles are coming. Dak was hurt, blah, blah, blah. What happened when he was healthy, 37-10? That is a terrible point, because what happened in crunch time in week 16? What happened? Who was Carson Wentz throwing the ball to? Who was he throwing the ball to? And guess what? Carson Wentz went above 300 yards that game. He went 31 for 40, and Dak folded. He folded. Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott have had similar stats over the first 4 years of their career. It's been close, right? But let's not deny the fact that Carson Wentz has had extremely less help than Dak Prescott has had. And when you took Ezekiel Elliott away from Dak Prescott, he was struggling, man. He was struggling. Just saying. Jerry Jones should fire Jerry Jones. Absolutely agree, man. He's in his own way. He's in his own way. Him and Steven Jones, you already know, man. I don't even have to say it. Dak is a fat baseball player playing quarterback. Yeah. Dak Prescott is a system quarterback. He uses the pieces around him, and they make him look better than he really is. And I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. He's a decent quarterback. He should get paid his money. I guess, you know what? Should we get into the Andy Dalton conversation? Because a lot of you Cowboys fans have been butthurt, man. I'm just saying. I'm being honest. Let's read a couple more comments first before we get into that. Michael, I love your videos, even though I'm a Seahawks fan. Keep up the good work. Shout out to you, man. Respect to you guys. We will see you. What week is it? Week 12. Shout out to you guys. You're going to have a good team. Eagles are lacking in the linebacker department, and that's the downfall right there. The Eagles have been lacking for years. You're right. They have not made it a priority. I'm hoping that some of these guys develop that we drafted. I could still see Howie going out and trying to plug a couple pieces as we go through the next couple months. Linebacker is going to be one of the most interesting things, as well as wide receiver. You are absolutely right. But with Darius Slay at wideout, when you don't have to, send another corner over there, when he's going to man that own island by himself, and you can afford to put more help on the other side, when you can afford to send a free safety blitz here and there, when Jim Schwartz hopefully will not play as scared as he has. Hopefully he sends these boys on a defensive line, because even just sending 4, we are still able to get to the quarterback a decent amount of time. And down the stretch last year, I saw us being more aggressive. I saw Malcolm Jenkins going in for some blitzes. If we have Kavon Wallace, who's down in the box, or he's in coverage, man, the possibilities are endless. Endless. Last time I checked, the Eagles beat the Cowboys with Greg Ward. Bird Gang 114 is absolutely right. The Eagles beat the Cowboys in crunch time when it mattered. You know, Amari was there. Dak was there. Zeke was there. And guess what? Carson Wentz won that game. Carson Wentz won that game. They have compared in stats, but let's not forget Carson Wentz has risen to the occasion. When Dak Prescott had it all suited out for him, when he was 13-3, he folded in the playoffs. Dak Prescott loves to average about 250, 260 yards in these playoff games. He just doesn't rise to the occasion. He fits in. He does what he needs to in the system. But overall, Dak has not elevated. Some of the Cowboys fans are just delusional, man. They're just absolutely delusional. That's why a lot of people wanted Queen or Murray instead of Rager. Hey, I would have understood it if the Eagles went linebacker first round. That's why I wanted Zach Bond, second round instead of Jalen Hurts. But I'm past that. I don't want to get back into that. You realize that we slacked off in that final games against y'all. So Garrett, it's comments like those, where you guys just make yourselves look so bad. You make imagine if I came out and said, the Eagles, we slacked off on purpose so our coach would get fired. Come on. You were contending for an NFC East title to go to the playoffs. You guys make yourselves look so bad, man. So bad sometimes. There are Cowboys fans out there that have been commenting on my videos, and I respect them, man. They actually bring some good insight. I didn't know it was possible, but there are some. But you can't be making comments like that. It's bad. It's bad. I actually like the Dalton pickup. We're not going to use Cooper Rush. Okay. I think it's time. Let me just read a couple more. I got to talk about this Andy Dalton thing because you guys have been something else. Tristan Tillman, I love your videos. You're the best YouTuber. Keep up the great content. Go Eagles. Shout out to you, Tristan. Shout out to you. I'm trying, man. Respect to you. Respect to you. Let Wentz play and win a playoff game before you make him elite like quarterbacks that did it already. I'm just saying, Carson Wentz, look at the stats. You guys make it out to seem like Carson Wentz has not accomplished anything. Like, look at the seasons he's had. He has not played bad at all, and he has risen to the occasion with talent that has been underwhelming. And when he did have guys who were in tip-top shape, the same guys that Nick Foles took and won a Super Bowl with, Carson Wentz had an MVP-like season. Carson Wentz played 13 games of MVP-caliber football. I'm just being honest. Yo, Rye, what's going on, bro? What is going on? We got a lot of people in here. 37 people in here right now. If you haven't, just take 1 second. Like the stream up. If you're new, subscribe, man. We're going to be streaming every single week. Let's see. Coop, Gallup, CD. Wow, stop that. Okay. Carson Wentz, Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, Deshaun Jackson, Miles Sanders. Stop that. Come on. You guys got to be real with me too. You guys got to be objective, man. I'm here for all the fire sports takes. I'm here for the debates. It's going to be a fun rivalry. It's going to be a crazy rivalry this year. But let's be real now. Let's be honest. We'll get to one more comment, and then I'm going to talk about Andy Dalton so you guys can actually understand it, and some of you guys can stop crying. Everybody knows Dak didn't practice that week, but Cowboys fans don't use that like Birds fans do all the. Yeah, you know why? Because if you suit up for the game, if you were hurt, don't play. Okay, if you're that hurt, don't play. Let's not forget that Dak Prescott, not only in that game, but other games before in previous years when they have had to win. Let's talk about on Thanksgiving. Was he hurt on Thanksgiving? Was he hurt earlier in the season when you guys laid an egg against the New York Jets? The New York Jets, come on. Like, you guys got to be real. Stop picking out little moments. Let's be real. Let's look at it as a whole. Come on, man. It's time to talk about Andy Dalton. We got 44 people in here now. It's time to talk about this, okay? And I've been laughing all week because of this, okay? Now, point number one. Not once did I say Andy Dalton was a bad backup quarterback. I never said that. People have been taking it out of context. They've been blowing it out of proportion. What I've been saying, and listen closely so you can actually understand it this time, okay? Point number one. If the Cowboys signed Dak Prescott, Andy Dalton is a fabulous signing. Let's get that out of the way, okay? I believe that. It is a good signing. If you sign your quarterback. If you sign your quarterback. Now, it's what intrigued me is that Jerry Jones came out and signed Andy Dalton 1 year, 7 mil with 3 guaranteed before his franchise quarterback. And I understand Dak is going through something tough, right? I understand. But if you need a little piece of evidence, let's look at last season. I mean, can we get any sooner than last season when it took Ezekiel Elliott all that time to get that money? It took a long time. I'm just saying he was considering holding out, right? But you guys won't acknowledge that. It's Dak's getting his money. Dak's the franchise guy. Well, actually, to my next point, a lot of you guys have been in the comments section saying that Andy Dalton is the best backup in the league. Andy Dalton is better than Carson Wentz. Andy Dalton, Andy. Andy Dalton is this great quarterback, right? Well, if he's such a great quarterback, if there's not a difference in talent that much between him and Dak Prescott, why do you go out? Why do you pay Dak Prescott $40 million a year then? Answer me that in the comments. Why? I understand. Insurance is great. Andy Dalton is not a bad backup quarterback for the Cowboys. But if he's as good as you guys are making him out to be, there could be some competition come season time. I'm just saying, if Dak is struggling a little bit, why wouldn't they go to Dak? Why wouldn't they go to Andy Dalton? Why? Come on. You guys got to be real and look at this. Come on, man. And the fact that you have QB2 on your roster before QB1, that just strikes me a little bit weird. But you guys think I'm just coming out and saying that Andy Dalton is just the worst player of all time and Dak's terrible. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a weird situation. And even though you got a good insurance policy, let's hope that Jerry doesn't, keep it lingering on too long. Because if he does, you guys are in for some trouble. You are. I'm just saying that. I'm telling you, I don't think Dak is worth that much money. But, it is his time. There is a cycle here. And that's why I think when we signed Carson Wentz to the $128 million, it was a good time because it took him. We got him at the right time because Dak's going to get a lot more money than that now. He's going to get a lot more money than that now. And we saved a good chunk of money. And I'm just saying, let's see what happens. But some of you guys have been saying the worst things I've ever heard. And it's just like, I don't get it, man. You guys can give it, but you can't take it. You're not up for the debate. You're not up for it. Let's see. Andy Dalton is garbage. He got benched like 10 times. I don't think he's garbage, but he's just never been that dude, And yes, he hasn't had the best situation in Cincinnati, but then again, like he's had some chances. He's gotten to the playoffs 5 times in a row and lost. Just saying. See, all you guys are just saying Dak's the starting quarterback. You guys are just saying it as if you're confident, as if it's already a guarantee. I'm telling you, he's been franchise tagged. I don't know. I'm just saying I don't know. And you guys, deep down inside, you're just a little bit nervous. Because as this goes on, what if it keeps going on? What if he doesn't get signed? Come on. The Bills and Jets clapped the Cowboys. What's going on, Lord Dagger? They absolutely did when they were in a situation in which they had some easy ones there, and that could have really put them a couple games ahead. You know what they did? They lost. It was a great Thanksgiving dinner, by the way. Who's going to stop Sanders, Djax, Rager, Jeffrey, Ertz, and Goddard? We stopped the Cowboys offense without Slay last year. Yep. Look, the Cowboys have weapons on offense, but the Eagles do too, and they're not recognizing that. They're not recognizing that Eagles have talent, that Carson Wentz has his talent, and if he's on the field, it's going to be a rough time because the Cowboys lost Byron Jones in free agency. They lost some of these pieces, and they refuse to recognize that. Only the real ones do. Only the real ones do. The Cowboys fans know that Lady Dak isn't our franchise quarterback. Dalton never had a team like this before. He can do a great job just like Tannehill. See, it's guys, it's like this. Some of you guys really think that Andy Dalton has a chance to contend, and that's all I was saying. Because if Dalton is here and Dak is here, well, as a businessman, I don't know if I'm gonna pay $40 million a year for a guy like that. I'm just saying, man. Eagles should sign Jadeveon Clowney. Hey, I made a video about this. I was going to talk about it as well. I wouldn't mind the signing. It would make the Eagles a better team. But, on the contrary, he did end our season. He has been a dirty player. He's been known as a dirty player. He's delivered 2 hits in 2 years in a row to Nick Foles and Carson Wentz, which I don't appreciate. And he said, after the playoff game, the Eagles have the worst fans in the world. It would be a little tough welcoming a guy like that. We're going to get in a little while to what Carson Wentz said about Jadeveon Clowney's hit. And I heard it last night. We're going to get to that in a little while. What's going on, everyone? If you're in here right now, 44 people, hit that like button, man. We got 28 likes. There should be 10 more likes in here right now. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. We're going to be streaming every single week. I'm here for all the fire takes and the debates. Come on, man. Gerwinder, Dylan, Dak will get signed. The only issue with the contract is the number of years. Of course, they will franchise tag him. Of course they franchise tag him. But look, man, you guys are so confident in this, and I don't know why you are so confident. I don't know why. Because, look, man, as a quarterback, as a young man, he is looking. We know that you have to hit on your time. When your time comes, you have to make sure you get every little dollar, every little cent that you can. Because the future is unknown, especially in a game like football. So I don't know. I'm just saying. Don't act like you wasn't pissed on the first 2 nights of the draft. I was absolutely pissed on the second night of the draft. The first night of the draft, I was surprised because they kept showing Justin Jefferson on the TV. I thought they were going with Jefferson. Rhaegar, I was not mad with that pick. The second night of the draft, absolutely I was pissed. But I can admit that. You know why? Because I'm real about it. I can speak the truth even when there's things I don't like about my team or my franchise. Some people can't do that. And I still do not agree with that, but I'm past it. And we got some good guys later on in day 3 of the draft. So I'm satisfied. I'm nervous about the Dak deal, to be honest, but I think Dak isn't the person to hold out. He has said before that he wanted to be the quarterback of the Cowboys. He's not the guy to hold out. Well, I respect you saying that you're nervous, but and guys have said this before that they don't want to hold out. They want to be part of a city. Obviously, they want to get there. And, with the situation going on right now, they want to be that guy. But I'm just saying that the money talks, man. The money speaks for you. And you never, ever know. I'm just being honest. I believe Dallas will be as good as Philly only because Dallas has a much easier schedule and a new coaching staff during COVID. Do you think Carson will stay healthy? Who wins backup quarterback game? Well, to your point, and a lot of people have been saying this, Dallas has a similar schedule, that to the Eagles, just a couple games difference. So I don't know why people keep saying that. But Dallas will be a formidable team. Don't get me wrong. They will be decent, okay? It's going to be a dog race in the NFC East. I believe it's a 2-team race. To your point about the backup quarterback game, I can't say for certain that Carson Wentz is going to stay healthy because he hasn't. I'm just being honest. He has not. I'm going to have confidence in my dude, and I know if he does stay healthy, I know his potential. I know what he can do. In terms of the backup situation, Jalen Hurts is going to be the backup. We spent a 2nd-round pick on the dude. He's going to be the backup quarterback, and he's going to be used in some different packages, and I really do hope that Carson Wentz is able to stay on the field and Jalen Hurts can be used in some of these, designs that can fool defenses, put them down in the red zone, run a wildcat. I don't know what they're going to do. I know we're going to have a quarterback controversy in Dallas. It's going to be like Winston and Fitzmagic. Thank you, Ricky. Thank you. An objective fan for once. Thank you. Some people can speak the truth. They can be just honest about it. Some of you guys are very hype on Andy Dalton. When you have 2 quarterbacks in the room, one's making $3 million and one's expecting 40, things might get a little weird. Things might get a little crazy. Dak is so bad he can't lead a healthy team to the playoffs, but Carson Wentz won a division with a practice squad. And that speaks for itself right there. Jonathan's been giving fire comments all night. It speaks for itself, man. In crunch time, what happened? Because you guys are the first ones to clown about Carson Wentz's injury. You guys are the first one. Carson Wentz is injury prone, can't stay on the field. Well, if Dak is so hurt, then why do you continue to talk about injuries? If you're suited up and you're in crunch time and you're ready, play the game, man. Come on. No excuses. Was Ezekiel Elliott hurt? Is that why he had 40 yards rushing? Come on. I hope Dak gets the money he wants because Cowboys won't be able to upgrade their defense. Yeah, man, we are at that time. And that's another great point. Like, when you hit that quarterback after that rookie window, after those 4 years, and your quarterback gets paid, okay? Your quarterback gets paid, you can't expend as much capital on some of these other positions that are very key. We saw it happen with the Seattle Seahawks. The Legion of Boom, guess what? Russell Wilson was a rookie. He was on a rookie contract. So they didn't have to pay him yet. But as they did, we've seen a complete formation. And, we've seen it here with the Eagles as well. Now, I think the Eagles handled it great. They didn't just blow everything up, but they got younger piece by piece. They got younger. They got rid of some of the veterans. They brought them back on discounts. I'm hearing Vinny Curry might come back to the Eagles. Jason Peters, I believe, has been in talks with the Eagles. I saw something earlier that said Jason Peters doesn't want to play for anyone else. A lot of these guys are coming back on discounts. I could see Nigel Bradham. That's a linebacker who could come back for the Eagles. There's a lot of dudes. I think we've done a good job, and I'm just saying. The Eagles love Dak so much they drafted a quarterback similar to him. That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. The Eagles, I'm telling you, we are not worried about Dak Prescott because can he throw a long ball consistently? No. Can he do stuff out of the ordinary? Can he rise up to the occasion? You can give him Ezekiel Elliott, all these weapons. Yeah, he's going to play all right. I mean, a lot of quarterbacks will. But I've never been the guy to trust Dak Prescott, with the season on the line, something like that. I just have never been that type of, in my opinion. I'm just speaking from an Eagles fan perspective. I know you guys might think I'm hating. Nah, I recognize that Dak Prescott is at least an adequate quarterback. Thoughts on Tua Tagovailoa? I'll give you guys an opinion, actually. I'm not as high on him as everyone has been. There's a couple reasons, the injuries. Obviously, the height. I know people don't like to hear that, but Tua, he's going to get banged up a little bit in the NFL, man. He's going to get banged up, and there's only been a selection of lefty quarterbacks who have really panned out to be those type of dudes. And Tua's going to have an interesting career, especially with the Miami Dolphins. Now, you think your new coach can do more? He was really bad without Aaron Rodgers. You think Dak is on that level? That's what I'm saying, man. They're very negligent to the fact that the Cowboys, it's every single year. Like, they're already panning themselves because they got CeeDee Lamb. They're panning themselves to be Super Bowl champions already. But the fact of the matter is, in crunch time, they got to the playoffs a couple years back. Number 1 seed, lost. They haven't sniffed an NFC championship game since 1995. Do you know how different the world was in 1995? Come on, man. Let's be honest. Why do you think Jerry is signing all his star players now so Dak can play with them for years to come? Well, who do you mean by star players? And, he also has to sign Dak. So a lot of these guys you're going to see over the years, they're going to have to go. Just being honest. Eagles have Doug Peterson, who is better than Coach Clapp. Absolutely great point. The Eagles are the only team in the division to have the same, situation, the same system, the same format coming back. And I think that's going to do wonders, especially during a time where we don't know when the season is going to start. We don't know how the training, the practice, the OTAs, all that is going to go. It's going to be great that we already have our chemistry. We have our system developed. There's a lot of new guys coming in. I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do in terms of the offensive staff. But that is going to be a big plus. Mike McCarthy, like I said, he's a decent coach. Can he get along with the players? What have you done for me lately? He has regressed. Even though they used to still get to the playoffs and everything, we've heard it, man. If you give Aaron Rodgers more weapons, if they had maybe a better relationship, if he wasn't throwing the ball 60 times a game, maybe, just maybe, Mike McCarthy or Aaron Rodgers could have won more, But Mike McCarthy, I don't think he's this top NFL head coach that they're making him out to be. I don't agree with that. Carson's stats is close with Dak with less games and worse players. Yup, and yup. They don't want to acknowledge the fact that Carson Wentz has not played bad over the first 4 years. His worst year statistically was his rookie year. And, we did not have a good team. His number 1 was Jordan Matthews, and his number 2 was Dorial Green Beckham. Like, come on, man. Come on. And this past year, down the stretch, what did he do? He lived up to the occasion. He carried these boys to the division and took it right from you guys. I don't know why you don't acknowledge that. Dak doesn't elevate the play of his receivers, but Carson does. Birdgang 114, another great point. Look, I'm telling you, guys around Carson get better. Like these guys who were practice squad players were coming out and being number 1s for the week or number 2s. That would not happen with Dak Prescott. I'm just saying Carson Wentz has showed that he is a leader. A leader. Who do you think, Michael, who do you think will be the starting wide receivers for the Eagles? I think it's going to be Djax, Jalen Reagor, and I think that Marquise Goodwin, if as long as his feet are under him, he's going to be in the Torrey Smith type of role. I think we're going to end up carrying 5, maybe 6 receivers. I could see John Hightower making the team. Now that Nelson Aguilar is gone, I could see Greg Ward starting in the slot. That's who I think will make it. And I don't know what's going to happen with Alshon Jeffrey. We saw the reports. We saw Alshon, they want to bring him back. He wants to have a major role. He's going to be paid a lot of money, and his legs are getting old. He's getting injured. He's banged up. He's been banged up for years. Even in 2017, he was banged up. So I don't know what they're going to do with him, but I know they want to pretty much translate JJ Arcega-Whiteside into what Alshon was. If he makes a leap this year and shows, that he can be at least adequate for the Eagles, if he can be a guy that can go up and catch balls in the red zone, that would be great. Alshon might not make the roster. I don't know what's going through the minds of the Eagles, but I do think Djax is a certain. Reagor. I think Ward starts at the slot, and Marquise Goodwin could definitely be thrown in there as well. Derek Grimsley. I'm just telling you, bro. It's going to be a dogfight between our two teams this year because your defense is not great either. I admit it's going to be a crazy race. It's going to be a dogfight. It's going to come down, to the 2 division games. And I think the Eagles have significantly upgraded on defense. Let's not deny that. The whole free agency, we didn't address offense. How we went out and got big play Slay. We went out and got Will Parks, Jatavis Brown, right? We went out and got these guys, Javon Hargrave. We're going to be stuffing teams all year on the run. Eagles defense got better. They're not, I'm not going to go and say they're elite, but the Eagles defense has the potential to be a top in the 5 to 10 range this year. I'm just being honest with you. LOL, Wentz was never the leader of that team. The leaders are on defense. See that? It's just bad. It's just bad. Some of the things you guys say are just bad. Just bad. Go look at the last 5 games of the season and let me know if Wentz was a leader or not. Carson equals GOAT. Carson equals GOAT. I'm loving it. Keep the Carson Wentz hype coming in a chat. Keep it coming, man. I love it. Let them know. Rob Roch, thoughts on the Eagles secondary. I think, look, man, I'm not going to say we are great yet, but I'm excited. I'm excited that the Eagles have finally made it a priority. We finally got a corner that I can sit back and say, you know what? I'm going to trust this guy on most Sundays. I'm not saying Slay's not going to get beat at all. Every corner gets beat. It is one of the hardest positions to play in the NFL. You can't even breathe on these great receivers, but getting big play Slay, I think it's going to help. Not only can we send more pressure, not only can we try a couple things here and there that might throw off these offenses. Hopefully Jim Schwartz will not play scared anymore. Will not play scared. Having Kavon Wallace, at safety and Rodney McLeod. And I think whatever corners on the other side, whether it's Maddox, whether it's Jones, whether it's one of these other guys, Mills potentially, who knows? I think they're going to be able to expend them with more help than they had before. And whether these linebackers that we get develop into good pieces, I don't know. But in the secondary, I think we're going to be a lot more suited to win some ball games and not get burnt deep. Hopefully, we're not playing, 5-10 yards off our guys because I see it way too much. But now that we have a number one corner that can at least negate in some way the best receiver on the other team, you're not going to ask Avonte Maddox to go out and guard Amari Cooper. You're not going to ask them to go and guard Michael Thomas. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have guys that can at least compete. Now, look, man, overall, I think the Eagles got a lot better in the secondary. I do. If the Eagles would have signed Dalton, Winston, or Cam, would that be better instead of drafting Jalen Hurts, or would that remind the Eagles fans of Foles? Look, I would have rather signed a veteran quarterback. I would have rather signed a veteran quarterback and used the second round pick, like I said, on a guy that could be a day one playmaker that could play 16 games a year for sure. A Zach Bond, another receiver, Mims, Christian Fulton, cornerback, right? I would have been fine with that. And when you see these guys come out and some of these veteran quarterbacks get signed for these little contracts, yeah, it looks even worse. I'm here with you guys. I don't think it was a good pick. I don't. And it creates this little controversy now that's going to stem more and more and more. And me personally, I would have rather had a backup veteran quarterback because if Wentz does go down, you're going to bring Jalen Hurts in. He's not going to be NFL ready. He's not going to have the experience. It's a lot different from the college game to the big boys in the NFL. And it's going to take some time to get used to, Dak should have been to a Super Bowl already. Dez caught that ball. Dak is a leader and much more sturdy. Knowing what I know about the two, I'm not sure I would draft Carson first. I mean, look, man. It's not like Dak isn't a leader at all, but he has the leader personality. He gets hype, and Dak can win some games, but I just don't see him as that guy up in that elite echelon because he doesn't do things out of the ordinary. Okay, he's a system quarterback in my eyes, and that's not a bad thing. But when guys like Zeke got suspended, what if he goes down? What if Amari goes down? What's that going to do for you? I know what Carson Wentz is going to do if our receivers go down. He's going to elevate it. You know what I'm saying? Dak, our guys go out, Carson Wentz is going to go up. Mahomes just won the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson was MVP, and who do talking heads on TV talk about that? Yeah, you know why, Harlem Cowboy? Great point. You know why? It goes back to what everyone says. You guys make headlines more than you win games. That is the problem. You guys are coined as America's team, but you really don't win. You as of late, it's what have you done for me lately? You can talk about how long it took the Eagles to win a Super Bowl. That's fine. I'll acknowledge you guys got 5 Super Bowls. But what have you done for me lately? Why can't you guys just be objective for once and not coming into every season saying this is our year? And when you guys choke on prime time, then it's, next year's our year. We're going to the Super Bowl next year. Just be objective about it. You know why they continue to talk about the Cowboys? Like I said, money talks. It makes them money. What was this stream even supposed to be about? It was about the Eagles schedule, and we've been talking the Eagles schedule. We went through each matchup. We'll get back to it in just a minute. I've just been reading some of these comments, responding to some of these people. Now we're also just talking about the Eagles and pretty much just expectations. If you're new in here, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. If you are new, we're going to be streaming every single week, and let's just keep doing it. Slay better be ready to make a lot of tackles. Playing in NFC East is physical, and he will find out fast. Yes, he will, and I do believe he will be a pretty decent tackler. I think our guys, we need to be decent tacklers. We can't let guys in the open field just run us over or give us a little stiff arm and go down to the ground. No, we need good technique. Hopefully everyone stays healthy so we can see great games in this rivalry. I hope the Cowboys and the Eagles both stay completely healthy. I want to see both of us at our best. That is what makes the rivalry great. I want to see us at our best, man. I do. 444 Philly fan. Romo was the quarterback when Dez didn't catch it. Yep, absolutely right. I can't even acknowledge some of these Cowboys fans. BPY, can my friend TRNJ get a shout out real quick? I told him about you and he just subbed. Shout out to you, TRNJ. Welcome to the channel, man. If you're in the stream, shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you. Who is your favorite player on the Eagles? I love all my dudes, but my favorite player, number 11 on his back, Carson Wentz, who I believe, by the way, if he is healthy, he will lead these boys to the promised land. Carson Wentz, if healthy, will go for 40 plus touchdowns this year. I will speak it into existence. Don't think the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys will make the Super Bowl this year. At least, at best, they make the championship. Okay, I respect it. I respect it. There are a lot of Cowboys fans out there who just continue to comment Super Bowl champion. It's ridiculous. A lot of people keep getting blocked. I'm trying to read these comments. Let's talk. Let's get back into the Eagles schedule a little bit more. If you just joined, in the last 5-10 minutes or whatever, go ahead and leave your record prediction. Let me get some more record predictions again in the comments. What do you guys think the Eagles record is going to be this year? As I was saying, that the key to the Eagles season, the key to winning this back-to-back NFC East division titles, the key to breaking this NFC East curse will be to take care of the games that we need to handle business, and then sneaking out some of these other ones that are going to be rough. We have a rough schedule. I'm not denying it. We do. The Ravens, the 49ers, Saints, Seahawks, those could all be losses, but I do believe that the Philadelphia Eagles will be a 10-win team. I do believe it could go either way, but if we're healthy and Wentz is balling out and these guys are protected, and what I'm expecting this defense to do in terms of improvement, especially with Marquand Manuel, I believe that the Eagles could get 10 or 11 wins this year, and I think that'll win the division. I do. There are 3 game rough stretches, with the 49ers, Steelers, Ravens being one from week 4 to 6. And then from week 12 to 14, it's Seattle, Green Bay, and the Saints. Those are going to be tough. But in the first stretch, if we can sneak out 2, say we down the 49ers and we beat Pittsburgh, we lose to Baltimore, it's fine. If we take 2 and going down in the other stretch, if you look at both 3-game stretches, in one of those 3-game stretches, I think we have to take 2 games. I do. If we take 2 or 3 in the first 3-game stretch, and then down when we get to week 12 to week 14, if we lose to Seattle and the Saints, I'm not going to be mad about it. It happens. They might be better football teams, as long as we don't come out and just look lost. As long as we fight hard and play a decent game, Let's look at some of these comments. Trishan Tillman, 16-0. I don't see that happening, but I love the confidence. Kahan Patel, 11-5. Yep, I like it. Ricky, Eagles 10-6 and Cowboys 11-5. I think the Eagles and the Cowboys will either end up tied or maybe one game apart. I know the Cowboys have pretty much similar schedule, except I think they're playing Minnesota and Atlanta, which is better for them. Those are easier games than whichever teams you guys aren't playing. I think it's the Saints, but yeah, I think the Eagles can easily get 10 wins here and maybe 11. Camo Dino, 9-7. Could happen. It depends if guys stay healthy. It depends if we get that momentum. Because in 2017, when we saw the light, when we saw these guys on fire, they could not be stopped. I could see us picking up some momentum from beating some of these bad teams and going into a game. After beating the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Browns, and going in and playing Seattle in primetime and rising up to the occasion. It could happen. It could. Why Sway? What's going on, bro? Wentz is better, in my opinion, because he's able to win games without key players or deep threats. I want to see most NFL quarterbacks win games without their main wide receivers. Absolutely agree, man. We saw what he did. Trishan Tillman, 16-0. I see you, bro. I see you. I love the confidence. Camo Dino, 9-7. Can TRNJ get a wrench? Yeah, he's definitely getting a wrench, bro. What's going on? Derek Grimsley, Slay better be ready to tackle playing the NFC East. He's going to find out real quick. The NFC East has really great receivers. And I do agree with that. Cowboys have some great receivers. The Washington Redskins, like I said, they're going to be formidable. They could be a 6, maybe a 7-win team. I see them around 6 wins. But the NFC East does have a lot of great receivers. Those guys were torching us last year from the Redskins. Okay. I'm not going to deny they might go deep on us a couple times. Terry McLaughlin, is that his name? He could go deep on us. But I think Slay's going to be ready to tackle. I think our guys, like I said, Marquand Manuel is going to have a big impact. Let me give my boy TRNJ here a wrench. Where's he at? Where's he at? Just hit you with that wrench, bro. JJ Trilla, $5 super chat. What's going on, bro? You've been in here for a minute. What's more likely to happen? Boys win a Super Bowl or Wentz gets hurt for the 5th year in a row? Hurts at wide receiver or running back will be destroyed. Y'all better not. I'll address the more realistic point first. Hurts, come on, he's not playing wide receiver. He's not playing running back. I don't know why people keep saying that. Okay, he's here to be the backup quarterback, to be the insurance policy. That's why we spent this pick on him, and he is here to develop. We are a quarterback factory. We know. Could we develop him into trade value? I could see it happening. Maybe not for a couple years, but who knows? Like you said, Wentz does get hurt. And he has gotten hurt every year. So we needed that insurance policy. Like I said, I would have gone in free agency rather than the draft. But I think Wentz is more likely to get hurt than the Cowboys and win a Super Bowl, because that is not happening. Let me tell you, it's not happening. With that, until you address that defense and are still able to keep these receivers around, it's not happening. So get it out of your head. Get it out of your head. Come on, man. You guys got to be real. Cowboys are probably going to win, honestly, like 10 games. They'll be right around the Eagles. It'll be a 1-game difference, a 1, maybe 2-game difference. I would see maybe 1, maybe finishes in a tie. Like I said, week 16 in Jerry World is going to be a big deciding factor. It's going to be interesting. That's why the Eagles have to steal in the 2 rough 3-game stretches. We have to steal ones, maybe from the Seahawks, maybe from the Saints. I think they're going to be tough games. I do. But I know Wentz can live up to the occasion, and if we're healthy, we have some talented dudes on this roster. We're going to have to be aggressive. Doug Peterson, and this is one point I want to get to real quick. We have to stop starting out slow. We have to not be so terrible in the first quarter. Every game last year, we finished the first quarter with 3 points, 0 points. It can't happen. We got to come out ready to rock, man. We got to come out ready to rock. Right out of the starter's gate, just firing on all cylinders. And I think with the speed opening up the field, I could see us going for some deep bombs first couple plays into a game. Send it down to D-Jackson. You already know what's going to happen, man. Cleveland Brown. Redskins could be a good team if they had the right quarterback. Not convinced with Haskins or they will be nasty, though. I agree, man. Ron Rivera implementing that system, in Washington, I think these next couple years, I think they're going to develop into a decent team. Like you said, I don't know if they trust Dwayne Haskins yet. I don't know if they believe in him. I was waiting to see if they traded up for a quarterback and got rid of Haskins. But, it's not as fair because Dwayne Haskins played with Jay Gruden. He really didn't get a chance, to prove himself like that. So, like you said, I think that the Redskins are going to be formidable. I think they'll be around 6 wins, but going into the next couple of years, they'll be interesting. I'm playing MLB Road to the Show and just hit a home run. That home run was for RB. Shout out to you, bro. I'm nasty at MLB The Show. I love that game. Growing up, playing it all the time. The Eagles wanted CeeDee Lamb. We smashed it from y'all just like y'all snatched Dallas Goedert from us, to be respectful. I absolutely agree, Derek. Absolutely agree. We did snatch Goddard from you guys, traded up right in front of you, and you guys took CD. I understand it. I understand it's part of the business. I'm mad about it just because of my passion as a sports fan. But I'll admit it. I wish we would have traded up, got rid of that 2nd-round pick. We could have got DeAndre Hopkins with that pick. We could have got CeeDee Lamb with that pick. A lot of things we could have done. Can you give Augie a wrench and a Cowboys fan? I'll give Augie a wrench because Augie has been very objective tonight. Augie has been real as a Cowboys fan, and I appreciate that. I do. Cowboys fans get so hurt if you say Andy's taking Dak's spot, but keep saying Wentz is getting replaced by a quarterback who never got to see NFL. Why, Sway? Thank you. They get so agitated if you say one little thing about a quarterback controversy and they're up in flames. But, I get mad that the Eagles take Jalen Hurts and they're, living in it, just enjoying it. They can give it, but they can't take it. You're absolutely right, man. Let's see. Richie, may I please get a wrench? I got you, man. Richie and Augie. Let me get you. Let me get you. Richie and Augie. I got you. I got you. Rick Bennett with the super chat. What is going on? That is my dude, man. He's here, always showing love. Shout out to you for the super chat, man. You know, never expected, always appreciated, though. You amaze me with this. It's obvious of all the prep you do for the vids and chat. If I'm guessing you wrote down talking points for this, hey, every single video, every single day, every live stream, I'm always taking notes. I'm always preparing for this, always thinking about this kind of stuff. It's a passion, it's a hobby, but you're right, man. A lot of work goes into this behind the scenes. A lot of things that you guys don't see. So I appreciate, you know, when people show love, when people tell me I'm doing a good job. You're absolutely right, man. I'm trying. Appreciate the super chat, Rick. Thank you for always being a great supporter. Honestly, I think they hired Andy to get Dak to sign already. Carapool, great point. Great point. This is another point I was saying. I think Jerry kind of used it as leverage just to, you know, give a little urge to Dak. You know, we got a backup now. That's what I'm saying. You know, you guys had a terrible backup before. Now Dak knows that he's not certain that if he were to go off and not sign, they'll be okay with Andy Dalton. They'll be okay. That's just what I'm saying, man. It gives them a little edge, like, yo, I got to get this done. JCan38, my bad. Romo was the quarterback. Do you think Slay covers Cooper the whole game, or do they move him around? Great question. This is what I've been hearing about, what I've been talking about. Jim Schwartz, you have to cover the best receiver on the other team with Darius Slay. You have to put Slay on the best receiver. I do not want to see Slay at the top of my TV screen guarding Michael Gallup, okay? It can't happen. Slay is a guy that you can move around on both sides, and he has to guard the best receiver. Darius Slay's abilities compared to the other abilities of the Eagles corners are second to none. Darius Slay has to be on the best receiver, and I'm really hoping that Jim Schwartz goes ahead and does that. He cannot play scared anymore. I'm telling you. Cleveland Brown, I feel like Bill O'Brien got rid of Hopkins on the first deal he was offered, like it's personal with him. Absolutely agree. There was something going on there. You know, we heard about his girl or his baby mama or whatever. And I think Bill O'Brien is just that guy. He kind of, in a way, is reminding me of what Chip Kelly did. You know, I want my players. I want guys that are going to, you know, follow my system and not really question it and not be different. And, dude, I don't know if it was the first deal, the second, the third. It was terrible. I don't know if other teams or if Howie Roseman would have knew that, but it hurts. It hurts, you know, and no pun intended, what they got rid of Hopkins for, and we go and get Hurts with the second round pick. It still hurts. It does. Derek Grimsley, not all Cowboy fans are delusional. I've been a diehard Cowboys fan all my life, and I'm meant they need to get their hand on the bus, and Jerry Jones needs to stay out and let Mike McCarthy coach. I absolutely agree with that. If you are hiring a man to come in and run your franchise, the Cowboys have talent. Like, I'm not denying this, but it's always like Coach Clapp or whoever always got in the way. If they have Mike McCarthy, let him do what he has to do. If it doesn't work out, okay, let him go. Bye. But we don't know. Does Jerry Jones always have his foot too far in? You are absolutely right. And I appreciate that you're being objective about it. The Cowboys have talent, but it seems that someone always gets in their own way. And I think both of these teams have talent, and it's going to be a dog race in the NFC East. I'm admitting it. It's going to come down to probably week 16. Richie P, even though you're an Eagles fan, I respect your views and thank you for not being an annoying Eagles fan. God bless. Stay safe. Shout out to you, man. Hey, I'm always here to talk, always here to debate. It's going to be a fun rivalry this year. I promise, man. It's going to be crazy. Good work, Kara. Absolutely agree. She's always holding it down. Augie, hey, man, don't sleep on Gallup. He had 1,000-yard season last year. Probably the most underrated player on the Cowboys. I'm not sleeping on him. I'm not. Gallup is a decent wide receiver. He's a good number 2 for the Cowboys. But I think the Eagles having Slay hopefully on Amari Cooper will I think Avonte Maddox has a lot better of a matchup, or Sidney Jones has a lot better of a matchup on Michael Gallup than Amari Cooper. And I'm not sleeping on the weapons. I think both of our teams have great offensive weapons. They do. It's going to be interesting. Ryan Garcia or Devin Haney? Why? Like, I mean, if I had to go, I would go Ryan Garcia, but why? Playing Madden and scored a touchdown. Shout out to you, bro. Throw one deep for me. Ricky, are we going to talk about LeBron begging for the season to come back so he can get that ring? Hey, I wasn't planning to do basketball. I don't think we're going to do it tonight, but trust me, each Friday night, we're going to be live streaming. If you're in here, I'm going to let you know we're going to be streaming every single Friday. We might go to 2 streams a week if it's like this, because I'm enjoying all these comments. I'm enjoying these takes from you guys. We have a lot of basketball to talk about once we see what happens and as we go on here. King Poe, why are we so high on JJ and Alshon if we're trying to create a speed identity? Well, I think when you take into account all the speedy receivers that we have, it is an element that we've been lacking for a couple years. So I do think we went out and addressed, getting some speedy wideouts. But the reason we're high on JJ and Alshon, like I said, I don't know about Alshon. I don't know if he's going to make this team. But JJ, we spent a second-round pick on him. We want him to develop. No matter how much speed you have to catch. And when you're down in the red zone, game on the line, we need a touchdown to win the game. Do you want Carson Wentz throwing up the ball, a 50-50 ball in the end zone to Greg Ward? Do you want him throwing it up to one of these speedy guys? Or do you want a 6'3" guy like JJ who has shown on his college tape that he can go up and grab the ball? Do you want a guy like that going up? I think we have a lot better chance with a guy like that going up to catch a game-winning touchdown. And we've shown that we've always, enjoyed a receiver of that caliber. Like in 2017, Alshon did so much for the team. We need a receiver like that. We do. Watching the stream with BPY on FaceTime. Shout out to you guys. Shout out for the support. Appreciate you guys, man. What do you think of 6ix9ine's new song? That was pretty fun. I was watching it before I got on here, actually. Great marketing technique. Just got out of jail. Shout out to him. Your DBs are basic, especially losing Malcolm. Slay is decent, but everyone else got trash at one point in every game. Your linebackers are nothing impressive. How are y'all top 5 defense? Look, man. We lost Malcolm, and that was a big hit. I admitted it myself, but you are not acknowledging the fact that Avonte Maddox, Sidney Jones, Rasul Douglas, they had to go up against these top-tier NFL receivers in Amari Cooper, right? And you guys are talking about Michael Gallup. They had tough challenges, and it's hard when you don't have that experience, when you don't have that talent to guard a number 1 wide receiver. Now you put Slay on that guy. Guess who's guarding the number 2, the number 3? It's these guys who at least can be, at least decent on these, at least have a better chance of holding their ground than on guys like Amari Cooper, right? And in terms of the linebacker, you're right. We have to develop. We have to see how these picks develop. I've always said we undervalued a linebacker way too much. But guess what? Our defensive line, top 5. Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Hargrave, Barnett. If we get Vinny Curry back, right? Javon Hargrave. Like, all these guys are very, very good on the defensive line. Malik Jackson played a game. Guess what? He's coming back healthy. We have to remember that the Eagles have guys on the line that do a lot. They do a lot in so many ways. Now we have a slot corner now in Nickel Roby-Coleman, who's going to be a lot better than what we had. If Cravon LeBlanc comes back, who knows? I'm just saying, man, the defense is not as bad as you guys think it is. And the defense has gotten significantly better, and we've addressed it, and it's going to continue to get better. Derek Grimsley, I'm optimistic on my team. Like, I don't believe in DeMarcus Lawrence talking crap. I think Jerry should take the star off every helmet and make them earn that star. Hey, I respect him, man. Respect your point. The Cowboys, they're getting a little old. They're aging, man. While the Eagles, guess what we do? We're getting younger. And we're working around the cap. We are figuring things out. Howie is a cap genius. He's done it for years and years. He's pulled off moves that I don't expect, and a lot of them have been good. And After that debacle of a pick, he had a pretty good draft. I'm excited to see how those guys develop. Hey, just look at my icon photo from week 15. Don't sleep on Greg Ward going up for a ball in the end zone. Hey, I'm not sleeping on it, man. I'm not sleeping on it. I completely agree. That was amazing. But that's my point, man. Like these guys elevated around Carson Wentz. And the fact that they could do that. Imagine now if you have Greg Ward in a slot and you got JJ Arcega-Whiteside going up and grabbing a ball over these 6 feet corners. You know what I'm saying? It could be a lethal offense. I'm just saying. Look at the running back situation as well. People keep forgetting that. Miles Sanders, I think, is going to explode this year. I think he could have 1,300, 1,400 all-purpose yards. You know, Miles Sanders is going to explode this year. What he did without really playing the first, third, fourth of the season last year, it was so impressive. He's young. He's only getting better. I hope we don't drive him into the ground. We got Boston Scott. We got all these dudes. If we add a bruiser back like a Carlos Hyde or a Lamar Miller, it's going to get scary, man. It's going to get scary. Cleveland Brown, what about stopping Zeke, assuming he doesn't eat himself out of the league like Eddie Lacy 2.0? Look, man, Zeke is going to do Zeke things. Like, I understand he's going to rack up yards on the Eagles. Like, you just have to find ways to negate him. You can't let him explode for those big chunk type of plays, because that is what hurts. If we can at least negate him a little bit, I'm confident in us winning the game, defending the Cowboys and defending Dak Prescott and applying pressure. I am. But you can't let Zeke go off for 120. If they do that, it's not going to be good for the Eagles. It's not. Whenever I do live streams, they get copyrighted, but it is just me talking already. Lost the channel from that. Have any tips? Hey, I don't even know. Maybe like if you have music on or something, I would try not to do that. When do you think Jason Kelce will retire? Watch the draft and the Cowboys draft in a center. Yeah. Again, I did not like that pick. I did not like trading it to the Cowboys so that they could get a center because their center retired. I think the Eagles will probably go in the draft next year for a center, whether it's second round, third round. I don't know how things are going to work out. I think Kelce, this is his last year. I thought he was probably going to be done this year, but now he's going for another year. All I'm saying now is that my Cowboys, Ezekiel Elliott is not going to have any more loaded boxes. You can't load CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, I understand that, man, but let's not forget the Eagles' defensive line is going to be lethal. Lethal. Go look at the boys we had there. Look at the depth, man. We take our first defensive line unit out. We have another defensive line unit ready to rock. We do. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Dallas has 3 corners already that can start. That's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. You don't even have 2 corners that could barely start for your own team. Stop it. King Post, so you think the Eagles would do a package of Rhaegar and JJ on the outside and Ertz and Goddard on the inside when we're in a red zone? I could definitely see that happen. I could see JJ at the X. I could see Rhaegar at the Z. Who knows, man? I definitely think, and I want to see more 2 tight end personnel with Ertz and Goddard because it is lethal, man. It is lethal. Zach Ertz is an automatic hands right there. And Dallas Goddard, you could even throw Dallas Goddard a pass in the back of the end zone. This man can jump. Don't forget, he's big and strengthy as well. Could definitely see that happening. And also, bro, you can't keep putting Deshaun Jackson in this. He's getting long in the tooth. I mean, people are doubting Deshaun, and I understand it because when you're older and you start to get hurt, that's what they do. That's what they do. But from what I've seen from Deshaun Jackson with my own eyes, and what I saw last year in week 1 of the season, look, if he stays healthy, I'm telling you, Deshaun Jackson is going to be crazy. I'm expecting him, if he stays healthy, to have 8 to 10 touchdowns around there, maybe even over 10. Rick Bennett, have an idea. Maybe we should have a fantasy football league. That would be crazy if we had like a subscribers fantasy football league. That's definitely going to be an idea as we get closer, to the season. RB, are you going to do a playoff predictor? I think I will. I think before the season, I'll make my bracket of teams who I believe will make the playoffs. I think there'll be a couple sleepers this year. Be interesting for sure. We have the best offensive line in the league. Really, really, because the last time I checked, the Eagles' offensive line is pretty decent as well, man. Don't forget about it. Bashir Randall, what's going on, bro? What is going on? You can't win games without a pass rush. Look at the 49ers. The Eagles know we didn't have a good front seven last year, but now we have a crazy defense. Absolutely agree. Look at our defensive line. Look at our defensive line. These guys are going to ball out. The run, I mean, Fletcher Cox demands all these double teams, but how can you even double team him now? How can you double team him when you have Brandon Graham, when you have Javon Hargrave, when you have Derek Barnett, Malik Jackson, Hassan Ridgeway? If we get Vinny Curry back, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Freddie Guzman, what up, bro? What's going on, bro? How you doing? Freddie Guzman with the super chat. What's going on, bro? Appreciate you, my guy. Shout out to Freddie. That's my dude. Appreciate the super chat, bro. Appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. Strengthy led my ass off. I agree. Plus Rager plays like he's 6'3". Hey, yeah, man. I'm telling you, JJ has to take that leap. I think this is JJ. I think he's on a limb, man. I think he is. Obviously, you don't want to depart with a second round pick that early, but I do think that this is JJ's time, and he has to fit into that role to what they want him to be. Because if he can, we can say goodbye to Alshon. I'm appreciative for Alshon, but we can say goodbye and not have to worry, about him getting old with age, And for a lot cheaper price right now, we can have JJ over Alshon. I'm telling you. And Rhaegar, I'm very excited to see what Rhaegar is going to do in the offense. I think they're going to ask him to step in and have a huge role. I do. Camo Dino, you can't win games without good corners to give the pass rushers time to get to the quarterback. I don't understand why you guys keep saying this. Who do the Cowboys have at corner that is so out of this world? Because the last time I checked, you lost your corner in free agency. Yeah, but Deshaun's getting old, bro. You just said the Cowboys are getting old. You got old players on your team. Hey, we do have old players. We are getting old. We do. I understand. I'm just saying in terms of Djax, he still has that lightning speed that he had 5-7 years ago when I watched Deshaun Jackson. And I think if he's healthy, he's gonna be very, very good this year. You can't double team Javon and Fletcher, so our interior will be monstrous. Absolutely agree. How are you going to negate that? The best offensive lines in the league, it's going to be hard to stop the Eagles front four. And if we're blitzing, if we're sending this pressure, man, it's going to be very, very hard to stop. So I want to, divert into a different subject just for a little bit. Someone brought this up earlier about Jadeveon Clowney, if the Eagles should sign him. I made a video about it. I want to know from you guys right now, if you're Eagles fans out there in the comments, should the Eagles go ahead and sign Jadeveon Clowney? Let me tell you guys something. So yesterday, there was an interview done with Carson Wentz, right? And I said that I wouldn't, worry about signing Jadeveon Clowney if we could get him at the right price. If we could get him in that $14-15 million a range, right? If we could get him in that $14-15 million range, I'd be fine. Go ahead and sign Clowney. Not a crazy hit to the cap. We'll probably have like about $25 million after we sign the draft picks. But the worst fans in the world comments, the dirty player, all that comes into consideration. And when Carson Wentz was asked about Jadeveon Clowney, he said that he did not believe it was an ill will type of hit. Now, this is an interview. I understand this is business. Jadeveon Clowney could potentially end up coming to the Eagles. I don't think it's likely. I don't think it's favorable, but it could happen. So when Carson Wentz goes out and says that type of thing, he's saying it for business reasons. I understand. But come on, Carson. I'm still mad about it because he took you out. He took our season out. The season you finally stay healthy for the whole freaking 16 games, and we get to the playoffs, and even when you go down, we have a chance to win the game. And Josh McCown was hurt, and he was playing hurt, and we still had a chance to win that game. So I'm pissed about that. I'm not gonna, let it get to me. I'm not gonna let it, stem into something big. I just think we got to be honest, man. We got to be honest. Jadeveon Clowney, I wouldn't mind him, but I think some team that needs that guy on a defensive line, that difference maker, I think they're going to go out and pay him 18, 19 million a year. I do. I do. The way I look at it, you got Alshon D. Jackson Goodwin, who will probably be here for one more year. Ward can take over the slot. JJ can play the X and Rager plays the Z. I agree, man. That's a great idea. I like it. We still have some of these veterans that can fill roles, and we have these younger guys who are going to develop into what we need them, to develop. By Sherrano, the Cowboys' defense consists of 30-year-old players, a drunk, and a person who was recently on crack. I mean, he's not lying. He's not lying. He's speaking facts. Like I said, man, you have to have some type of criminal history to get signed by Jerry Jones. It's a given fact at this point. Oh, yeah, I like Everson Griffin over Clowney because Griffin will be cheaper and he had better production than Clowney. Everson Griffin is another name that's out there. He's another name, a guy who can fill a void. I could see the Eagles going after one of these guys just because Howie always values the trenches. He will never have enough guys that he wants on the defensive line. But at this point, with the leftover money that we have in the cap, I think I wouldn't mind going out and signing another linebacker if one comes up in free agency. I could see us still going out and maybe getting a veteran type of receiver, just one more, just to maybe try to make the roster. Just throwing thoughts out there. And I hope that we go out and get a bruiser. Whether it's we use Elijah Holyfield in-house, whether we try Michael Warren, the guy Killins, is he going to make it? But we need a bruiser at running back. We need a Carlos Hyde, a Lamar Miller, one of those type of guys who can be our first down back, get us a couple yards, or on a third and short when we need a couple who are going to get those yards for the Eagles. Because Miles Sanders, I don't want him to be a 3-down back. Even though he can be, I don't want to run him into the ground. I don't. He's young, and the amount of value that Miles Sanders brings to this football team is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And Miles Sanders, let me tell you, that dude is a treasure. He's going to have a great year. What do you think about us in Game 13 against the Saints with one of our Cesar Ruiz and our DNs trying to get Breeze? Hey, it's going to be a rough game. Shout out to Cesar, man. It's my boy. I've been talking to him a little bit. Shout out to him. Look, that team is going to be crazy. That is, to me, is probably our toughest game on the schedule besides Baltimore. Baltimore and the Saints, I could see it being 2 losses, and I'm not mad about it. As long as we come out, as long as we compete, the Saints are going to be a rough game, even though it's at the Link. Even though against the Ravens is at the Link, it's going to be tough trying to, have our linebackers or Nickel Roby-Coleman on a blitz or something running around, trying to chase Lamar Jackson. It's going to be tough. We're going to have to throw some crazy things that Lamar hasn't seen, just like how the Titans did in the playoffs. And in terms of the Saints, it's just hard, man. Breeze just gets the ball out so fast. He's getting up there in age, but I still see Breeze having a good year and all this stuff. The Saints even got a lot better in the draft. They are going to surround him with a lot. They have surrounded him with a lot, and those guys are going to perform 2 very, very tough games, and I'll be honest about it. Philly Talk Podcast, what's going on, bro? Griffin is definitely better than Clowney when it comes to price and production. Just got to get his mindset right. Absolutely agree. He's had a little bit of trouble here and there, but Everson Griffin, I don't think he would be a bad option. And like I said, Howie values the trenches. He would come in, if he came in, he would have to understand what his role is because of all the depth that we do have on the trenches, Kahan Patel, I like Yannick. So do I, man. So do I. I thought Howie was going to try to go out and be real aggressive for him. Obviously, we didn't want to give up the first round pick. We needed a receiver, but Yannick is great, and he's been quiet lately. I think his trade value, I think they're getting ready to send him off somewhere. I do. I think that's why he's been quiet. He's been vocal about coming to the Philadelphia Eagles, but it's going to take a lot. Even though it's probably dropped because of him speaking out on Twitter and stuff like that, even because of that, even with that happening, I think Yannick is still going to require a pretty hefty price tag. And I think we have to take it into consideration, looking what our plans are for this year and next year as well. Do we want to go out and expend that, I will say this, less fumbles from Wentz. He had a baby. Absolutely agree. He's going to be holding on to that ball tight. That is one of Wentz's biggest flaws. He has to hold on to the ball this year. Is he going to be roaming around as much? I don't mind Carson Wentz roaming around as long as he's smart with the football, as long as he's holding on to the football, as long as he's sliding and not taking hits on his legs. It's fine with me. It's fine. King Poe, you think Hightower or Watkins plays at all next year, or are they just insurance if we have a repeat of 2019? I do think they will be insurance, but I think one of them will make the roster and will get some snaps. I've been really liking Quez Watkins as a speed demon kind of dude, but Hightower, I've heard a lot about him too. I do think the Eagles will hold probably 5 or 6 receivers, and I think one of them will make the roster. And even if they don't, like you said, they are going to be insurance in case our receivers start dropping like flies again. Bashir Randall, do you think Howie is done in free agency? I don't. Howie is never done. He's never satisfied. I could see us going out and signing a couple more pieces, especially as we go on. We still have a lot of time. We still don't know when the season is actually going to start. We don't. So I could definitely see Howie going out and trying to get a couple more pieces, some veteran guys to maybe shore up some holes, maybe, increase the competition even more than what it is. There's going to be some crazy competition. And I could see Howie going out and sign a couple pieces. By Randall, I think we will have 6 receivers and the Eagles will do something slick by putting Hightower at punt returner. I do think the Eagles will have 5 or 6 receivers, like you said. Even to your point, I could see us going and putting the guy Adrian Killins at punt returner. Maybe Jalen Reagor goes to punt returner as well. Maybe he gets those duties. We have a lot of guys to pick from, a lot of talent, and I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see what we do. We have a lot of guys that can be moved around. Like I said, it's all a game of chess. You got to move the pieces around. You got to put them in the best situation. So right now, as we're getting to the tail end of this, we're almost at 2 hours. Shout out to everyone that has been in here. If you're in here, we're at 38 likes right now. Go ahead and smash that like button. If you're new, click that subscribe, man. We're just going to continue to grind, and we're going to keep streaming and having fun, man. So as we get, to the last probably 10, 15 minutes of this stream, and I want to appreciate everyone that's been in here, give me your guys' boldest takes. Give me something crazy, man. That's how we're probably going to end each stream. Give me your fire sports takes. Like, what are you expecting? Which guy comes, out of nowhere and has a spectacular season? What is something that you don't expect that's going to go down this year? Maybe it's with the Eagles. Maybe it's in the whole NFL. What is going to happen that really sets something apart? Give me your most fire takes in the comments, man. RB, my guy, we get up soon, but a legit question. 2020 looks like what's he? Well, 2020, man. I'm thinking 10 wins for the Birds, man. It could go either way, 1 or 2 games on either side. If we are healthy, we've talked about this personally, man. If we are healthy, the Eagles can be a 10, 11, 12 win team. If they're hurt, if the team is decimated, if guys are going down, we could end up being an 8-win team. And I think we have to take care of business. I think a 10-6 record will probably win this division because I think the Eagles have a tough schedule. So I think the Eagles are probably going to finish with 10 wins. I do. Bills make it to the AFC Championship. That would be pretty crazy. The Bills are interesting. They had a decent year. Now they have Stephon Diggs. They're going to be interesting. Let me get some fire takes up in here. Camo Wolf 54, John Hightower breakout season. He is a dude. I'm telling you, guys are talking highly about him. He is a guy. What if he gets plugged into the roster from week 1 and just starts going off? All of these speedy guys together, and the 2 tight ends that we have It's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy. CD has 1,100 plus yards. I think CD's a good receiver. I don't see that happening, though, because you do have Amar, you do have Michael Gallup. I think CD will contribute, but I don't think 1,100. But that's a fire take. It's a fire take. I think Tom Brady will get hurt badly. Wow. I mean, the Bucks, I think, they want to contend this year. They're ready to contend. I think the Bucks have a lot of talent, but he's in a tougher division now. He's definitely not playing in that AFC East. That's for sure. King Poe, Rhaegar wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. That would be crazy, man. I think Rhaegar is going to be asked to do a lot. We know JJ was asked to do a lot. JJ was put in that type of role where he was like, we even saw he didn't know from week to week what he was expecting. You saw the video, right? I mean, he didn't know the playbook. He was very, very confused. And at the same time, he was injured. Hopefully, Rhaegar will be able to live up to the expectations. Hopefully, he will be able to come in day one and be ready to go and just catch the ball and just explode down a field. It's going to be crazy, man. Kavon Wallace starts game 2. Hey man, I could definitely see that happening. I could see him starting week 1. I could see Kavon Wallace going throughout training and OTAs and continuing to impress people, man. Jason Hurts, I think you mean Jalen Hurts starts week 8. Hey man, I'm not going to speak on that anymore. We've already talked about it. Jalen Hurts will be here and he'll be ready to go if he's called upon. I don't think he'll be the most polished, but we'll see what he can do. When a time comes that Ertz retires, do you think Goddard will step up? Obviously, yeah. Obviously, man. I think Goddard is, like I said, he's at least a top 10 in my eyes. I could argue that he's a top 5 in terms of talent. In terms of a tight end that you can plug into an offense and you can trust that guy. I think Goddard steps up and he's going to be the man here for years and years, even if Ertz isn't here anymore. Cleveland Brown Patriots will be tanking to get high pick for Trevor Lawrence. Very, very interesting comment there. I don't see the Patriots tanking. I don't. People are counting them out. I think I saw someone that predicted them at like 7 or 8 wins. But nah, man. I think this year you're really going to see the difference between Bill Belichick and Tom Brady and what they can do for a team. I think Belichick will be all right, man. I think the Patriots will be decent. Chris Goodwin will have a great year for Tampa Bay. I do believe in that. I do believe that offense is going to be pretty interesting. See what Bruce Arians can do with a guy like Tom Brady. Dolphins will finish second in the AFC East, beating the Pats. Okay. Dolphins, people are talking about them. All the splashes they made, all the moves. Pretty interesting, man. Pretty interesting. They had a great draft. Burgang 114. Patriots still win the division. I agree, man. I agree. I just, until they don't win it, I can't say they're not going to, because they just have done it for so long. It's been guaranteed. Even though I don't like them, it's just the truth. King Poe, imagine Djax, Rhaegar, Goodwin, Hightower, and Watkins on the field at once. Would be insane, man. Like, how do you guard that speed? It's crazy. James Rodriguez, I think Philly splits with Dallas, lose to Dallas at home, and then beats Dallas at 18. Wow, that's interesting, because I was kind of thinking the opposite. I think the Eagles will take it coming off 10 days rest at the link, and then when we go to play Dallas week 16, that is the one we would have to steal for potentially the division title. But interesting take there. I like it. Camo Wolf, 49ers fall to 9-7. I was mentioning this earlier. I could see the 49ers as a winnable game for the Eagles, because the 49ers will have a great year like they did last year, and then things just might not go, as expected in this following year. We've seen it happen with teams. I feel like it's happened to the 49ers before. I could definitely see them regressing at least a few games, maybe a 9-10 win team, like you said. I think Pats do better than Bucks, to be honest. That is a fire take care. Pats do better than the Bucks. That would be interesting. I think the Pats will be okay. I think the Bucks will be okay. That week one matchup is going to be crazy. And just the NFC, I think there will be some teams that really make a big jump this year in terms of the NFC. I wonder which division is going to get the wild card team. I wonder. It's going to be interesting to see. Adam Ranks will actually predict something correctly. Camo Wolf 54. Rob Gronkowski retires in the middle of the season. That would be crazy. Look, man, his body's beaten up. He's getting. I don't even know why he came back. I mean, I know why, because he wants to play with Brady again. He finally got the chance now in a different place. Probably wants to have some fun. He can't have all that fun with Bill Belichick. I don't know what's going to happen there in Tampa. They could either go crazy or they could just be average. I could see either one happening. But, we're just about to hit 2 hours now. I appreciate you guys who have been in the stream. We're at 40 likes. If you're in here, click that like button. If you're new, subscribe, man. We've been talking about the Eagles schedule. Just a couple more minutes here, and then we're going to hop off. But don't worry, every single week we will be live streaming, maybe even multiple times a week. We're going to see how this goes. I appreciate everyone that's been in here. Bring in your takes. Like I said, man, from whatever team you're from, whatever team you like, whatever you feel about sports, just come in and just speak honest, man. Just give some fire takes. Be objective. I like it, man. I do. Now, to reiterate what we've been talking about, I think the Eagles are a 10-win team. I think we could be an 11-win team, a 12-win team, or even a 9 or 8-win team. It all depends on the health. The health is the number one factor. We can't have Carson Wentz going down. We can't have D-Jax and Rhaegar going down. We can't run Miles Sanders into the ground and have him going down. On defense, we can't have those guys going down. And in terms of our coaching, we're going to really start to find the identity of this team. We have all these guys who don't have a lot of titles. Will Doug be legitimate this year? Will he be the guy? I don't know who's going to be creating the plays. Probably a combination of a lot of dudes, but we don't have that Frank Wright type of dude that we had a couple years ago. Will Doug not get in his own way sometimes? Will Jim Schwartz on defense be aggressive? Will he put his foot to the pedal and send pressure? Will Slay lock up? A lot of questions to talk about. But I think the Eagles need to start 3. And I think with the 2-3 game stretches that are very tough with 49ers, Steelers, and Ravens, and then with Seattle, Green Bay, and the Saints, one of those 3 game stretches, we have to take 2 of 3. Whether it's, I think we have a better chance of doing it in the first 3 game stretch, but we have to take 2 of 3. Ultimately, we have to take care of business. I could even see us, flopping against a bad team like the Rams, or the Rams aren't that bad. Maybe like the Bengals or I don't know, Arizona, but then going out and taking 2 of 3 or 3 of 3 from these tough stretches. I don't know, man. It's going to be very interesting. I think the Eagles go 5-1 in the division. I think we sweep the Giants and the Redskins, and I think we take the first one off 10 days rest from the Dallas Cowboys. And then going into week 16, if we're able to steal that in Jerry World, whether the division is coming down to a game or 2, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a 2-man race here in the NFC East, and I'm all for it. I'm all for the rivalry. I'm very, very excited. Let's just hope we have a great football season, right? Let's hope things start on time and we have a good amount of preparation. We can watch preseason games and hopefully fans will be in attendance, and it's going to hopefully everything works out, man. Hopefully sports get back into what they were. And I'm really, really excited for the season. So just a couple more comments here as we finish up here. Cowboys and Eagles might tie records 9-7. Hey, I could definitely see it coming down to a tie. I don't think there will be more than a 1-game difference. Like if the Cowboys are 10-6, Eagles are 9-7, or if Eagles are 10-6, Cowboys are 9-7. I don't see it being more than a 1-game difference. I don't. I think it's going to be very, very tight. I think both teams have a lot of talent, but how will you utilize that talent? Who will step up in the big situations? Who will steal some of these games from these great opponents? Who will do the things that it takes to win ultimately? MVP Wentz agree with a healthy roster. Ivis at 11-5, 12-4. Absolutely agree, man. Bashir Randall, I think the Eagles should put Adrian Killins at kick returner. Look, he's going to get a chance, man. He's fast, very, very fast. Howie might not be Howie might not be good with draft talent, but he's good with contracts. Absolutely agree. He's a magician. He's a magician when it comes to the cap. He's going to figure some things out. Whether we get rid of some of these older guys and continue to get younger and save some cap, who knows? Because we're projected to be over the cap next year. It will be an issue, but we got to see what happens, man. Eagles get Jamal Adams. That is a fire take. That would be absolutely crazy. We know that he wants to go to Dallas. Imagine if the Eagles were able to snag him in a mid-season trade. The Jets don't pan out again. The Eagles are able to snag him. That would be absolutely insane. But I'm excited with what we have at safety. Killins and Warren ain't making the roster. Sorry. I mean, they might. They might not. I think one of them could have a chance, like Killins as a special team dude. Warren is a long shot in my eyes, but you never know. We're gonna have a lot of competition in this room. We're gonna have a lot of guys competing, and we're gonna see what happens, man. It's gonna be very, very interesting. But it's been a great stream, guys. 2 hours and 5 minutes. 30 people still in here right now. 40 likes. On your way out, hit that like button for me. Click that subscribe. Let me know if you guys want me to continue to live stream. It's been a lot of fun. Appreciate all the sports takes. It's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun coming on here every single week. We're going to be live streaming. And man, we're going to keep it up. We're going to keep it up, as I know it's been hard without the sports content. I know. But I'm trying each and every way. Each and every day, I'm trying to find ways to make it creative. And it's been a lot of fun, man. But I do appreciate all you guys. Thank you for tuning in for the stream, whether you've been here for a while or just a short time. I appreciate you guys, and I will definitely catch you next week on the live stream. So all you guys have a good night, have a good week, and be safe and practice social distancing, man. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.